Hey guys, it's Mike with another GoG Guardians free-to-play video. We're on to day 36, so we're doing every several days now, just kind of seeing if we can get some progress going. Starting here with 150 rubies, and we're going to move over here and get another 100 rubies. So that's a great way to start the quest here. I was unable to play this account when I was up at the lake, unfortunately. The internet up there was just really bad, so I haven't been in the account for a few days. So we're going to jump in here and just go through our normals. We're going to utilize all of our crafting energy to work on the gear that we're currently working on. I think we're at tier 5 on most of this stuff here. So yeah, we're moving some of these pieces over to tier 5 and getting our characters dialed in. We are going through and trying to get all of our pieces epic at least, and then moving over to legendary over time. So that's kind of what we're geared toward. Looks like we got Palmera decked out full tier 5, as well as Flix and Grizel minus this guy here. So hopefully we can get a little bit of upgrades on some of this gear, and then we'll sweep those dungeons and see where we end up. Jump in the shop, pick up our necessary pieces there, jump in the guild, donate. I'm glad they didn't kick me out. I apologize to my guild mates. I did not get into this account. It's kind of a pain in the butt swapping between accounts on a cell phone with those. Oh, so it did not sweep these. These are from before, and it left them here for me to claim. So that might have been an update that they put on there, that as long as you dispatch them, you're able to claim them later. So that's actually a huge win for a quality of life on that end. So we appreciate that, Immutable. Thank you. That's very helpful. So we'll go ahead and press on in here, but it is kind of a pain in the butt to swap between accounts on devices. You need that Immutable passport 6-digit code every time. Logging into emails, trying to remember 6 digits isn't as easy as it once was. So jumping into my mailbox here, I did see in the building blocks event we ended up at 1701. So we fell pretty far down the rankings, but I was unable to get any more out of my team. So that's kind of where we ended there. Starting to work through some of this crafting material, and then I swept all my challenge 3s. So we're still working through it, but I just saw that and thought I'd bring you in and let you know how we finished up in that building blocks event. Did also want to bring you in. It looks like they updated the chest in the crafting area, where if you go over, it will continue to stack that up. I'm sure it probably has a cap. I've gotten it as high as 300, and it has not stopped. It keeps going. So I'm not sure how far you can get it out there, but you're no longer losing those extra clicks when they happen. So that's kind of a nice quality of life benefit that was recently updated as well. So if you didn't catch that, that's something to know. I did hear a rumor. Oh, here it is. Your auto merge button was coming in. So this is another thing. We can don't remind me again. Perfect. We can auto merge, and boom, everything is merged up. We can auto merge again and auto merge again, and we're all the way down. So that's going to save you a bunch of time when you get into this. That auto merge is a huge win. So that was another quality of life that came in there that should help us out along the way. All right, so we've made some headway here. We have Tushgrog completely outfitted in tier 5 gear at level 6. We've got Darizda completely outfitted in T5 gear at level 6, and Palmera also at level 6. Flix is also at level 6, and Darizda and Grizel, and she is almost all at level 6. So we made some pretty good gains on the gear themselves. From there we can go over and take a peek, and we're going to start fusing some of these together. So we have 3 pairs of boots. We'll fuse those into legendary and so forth. I do have an attack pair of boots on Darizda currently, so I'm going to wait till I get a 3rd epic set, and then I will fuse those together until I get an attack pair, and then replace the ones that I have on her with an attack pair, because that's what I want on her. So that way I have the main stat that I need and I'm looking for, and then once I get the legendary to replace it, I'll go ahead and do that. So that was a pretty big win there. We do have the necessary the rush tokens reset. We could buy the soul stones, and so we do have enough soul stones to purchase the enlightenment for Flix. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Increase her stats, get her Healing is all based on her HP, so we just want a really high HP stat here, so that's an extra 13,000 HP going on there. So her total HP is up to almost 460,000. On the boots, we have HP boots. On the crossbow, we have an HP crossbow. And then ideally, once we get these legendary, they can match her and then be hopefully 15%ers with the higher stats to increase this as much as possible. That way her healing comes in as strong as it can be. We did get Grizel up to level 120 and upgraded her skill. And then we also started putting extra scrolls into Tuskrog as we still want Grizel to follow him. He's at 596 power. And Dariz is at 553, so she's kind of nipping at his heels a little bit, so we want to make sure that he stays powered up. So that's where the champions ended up. We're going to go ahead and jump into Arena, see if we can knock out a few battles, and then into Rush. We have not tried Rush yet, so we'll set a new record because it's our first try, and then we will press on into Endless mode. So for the time being on Endless, I'm going to run the 2 tickets we get for free because I am running short on rubies. So instead of purchasing those extra tickets every day, at least for this cycle, I'm going to wait until the next cycle starts when I can make a run at kind of getting higher up in the leaderboard with extra rubies. Last time I fell short where I couldn't actually use all 4 tickets because I ran out of rubies, and so I ended up falling down. I was in the top 5. I ended up falling down, I think, to 17th. So that was kind of unfortunate, but I had nowhere to pick up rubies, so I had no choice but to not run those extra keys or those extra tickets. So that was kind of unfortunate. So I'm going to try to avoid that next time, stack up some rubies this time and spend them a little less. Also, that includes repurchasing all of these guys. I'm going to make sure that all of the challenge 3s get swept, but that's it. I'm not going to purchase the extra adventure energy in order to sweep the challenge 2s. That way I can hold on to as many rubies as possible and then make sure I'm finishing all my daily quests to make sure I get the 200 that come in the main chest that you get every day, not to mention these 100 here. I think that's it. Yeah, so these 100 plus those 200s, 300 a day, that adds up pretty quick. So that's what I got. So let's jump into Rush here and see about throwing some Dread Powers on and putting our team together, and then we'll press on and see what kind of record we set. We're going to get our damage dealers up for our tanks up in the front, damage dealers in the back, although Palmera is kind of a damage dealer up front with Tuskrog there. And we'll give this a go and see how we do. I did almost do, I think I did 3.5 million on my main account today, so hopefully we can do a little better than we have been doing. I think we've been right around 150 to 180,000. Seems like this boss might be a little bit easier, at least for the group of folks that I have. So yeah, we're already at 150, so I think we'll get over 200,000 with this group. Maybe even press on to 3 would be pretty cool. Even with the Dread Powers on, I think I can even do better without them. So we'll get that dialed in, and then we'll see if we set a new record over the 229,000. Yeah, so we did significantly better without those Dread Powers on, all the way up to 869,000. We are going to run it back one more time just to see if we can push it over 1 million. But we should have all these guys. You want to make sure to claim all of these every day because that's your primary source of soul stones. Every 7 days you can buy 1,000 of each soul stone, which has been probably some of the biggest levels of progression that you see in any given time. We'll run this back again. That and when the reset happens for Endless, those first couple days you just stack up so many resources, so you can see quite a few gains on the account in that time. But it just kind of depends on when those things reset and how well you do and all that good jazz. But we're doing pretty well in this battle here with this new Rush boss. So hopefully, Flix went down early in the last one, so I lost some healing ability pretty early on. But we still almost got to 1 million, so that's pretty cool. So we'll see. Keep on pressing on here. We're over 5, 6. Oh, that took a lot of people out. Oh, all right. Well, 750,000. We did this 870, so we'll hold on to that. we'll keep pressing on every day, see if we can do a little better. But we put our stick in the mud to measure ourselves against, so that's perfect. We can see how about that daily progress. So we're going to jump into endless mode here, jump on expert. We're going to go 2 times here and get into this battle, and we'll roll through this, and I'll bring you back in as we start to struggle towards the end. So we are on to room 16, and I have noticed that this was an update that happened. I'm trying to remember to click on it and actually use it, but when you click on this, after a certain amount of rooms, you've unlocked different aspects of the game, or different aspects of benefits. So here I think you're recovering 7% health, which is kind of like respite. I think respite's 10%. Here you're recovering 300 points of energy at the beginning. And so each of these kind of has a different benefit, and I think you can actually stack them. So after that last room, we're already 20% full again, where we'd be able to use another one. And then this is the duration for how long it lasts. So it's activated for that many rooms, you'll be able to get that added benefit. So could be pretty cool. Keep your eye on that. I don't know if every 5 rooms you get to 100%, if you get 20% per room. I don't know how much longer I'm going to last, but we'll find out if it is every 5 rooms. Man, I got close. A lot of people almost dead in that room. So when these curses stack up, it definitely starts to work against you a little bit. Let's go ahead and get Imperial Decree for Darizda there. Get a little extra attack on her. And see if she can do a little more damage. We did get our 3rd treasure chest for our daily activities, so there's that. So that's pretty good. Usually we don't struggle to get there, but this time we're hurting. Yeah, so now we're up to 30%. So on that first room we got 20%, and then we got 10% on the next room. And I believe that previous room was a boss fight, so that might have been why we got 20% on the boss fight, and then 30% or 10% on the regular room. So theoretically this one would also give us 10%, which would bring us to 40 if I seem to understand how this is working. But it is kind of a cool thing that just gives you an added benefit, an added perk, or an added rune as you're moving through these endless battles. And yeah, so we got 10% on that one. So I figure probably point that out to you in case you're curious what's going on there. I read up on all of the options in there, and they're all pretty good. I typically lean towards getting health. I find that to be one of the more beneficial things, but also 300 energy at the beginning of the battle is not a bad way to go either. Alright, so we're on to room 28. We've filled up the bottle again. We can do 300 points, a little bit of health. I think we're going to go with this fatal attack because so we're almost dead. So theoretically when one of these guys die, they're going to come back. They're going to heal for 10% and stay alive once per battle. And we're down to Flix and Darizda, so chances are I'm not going to make it too much further than this here. We might be able to squeak this one out. And oh, we lost Flix, but Darizda was able to get through it, so that's pretty good. So we will jump in here. I don't know that it much matters at this point. We don't have a tank. None of these affect us at all, because our tank is dead. So we'll jump in here and probably die quickly in room 29. So, and it's a boss fight. So the curses we've got now are pretty rough. We've got the worst combination here. We'll go with exhaustion because it resets at the end of the battle versus the next one. So it won't kill our energy this time, but starting in the next room it will. But we probably won't make it to the next room, so it probably doesn't matter. So you saw her die. She popped back up and she died again. Pretty quick, but we're at 59,000. On the points for running those 2. I was noticing in the rewards here, oh, that's yeah, we'll definitely take those. But I was noticing in the leaderboards I was moving my way right up there, so I'm actually in second place with 59 points. So in this grouping that I'm in, I actually am doing pretty good. Now I don't expect to stay up here because I'm not going to be running 4 tickets per day. But theoretically, if I were running 4, I should have twice this score, so that'd put me around 120,000. I'd be holding on to first place. But I can't afford to spend 800 rubies. It's 300 for the first one, 500 for the second. 800 rubies a day in order to stay on top of that leaderboard, because I am down to, I think, 1,000 rubies or so. Yeah, 1,200 rubies. So it would not work out for me to do that. that should have got all my daily activities done. Commander level 64, we're moving right up there. That's pretty fun. So we can collect all of those. Got 200 rubies for wrapping up the day and getting all those pieces done. So that's going to help out a lot. Look at that, we're already up to 1,500. So that'll take care of that. Now let's jump into adventure mode, see where we left off. And I haven't pressed on the account in any of the days that I was off. My goal is to basically do all progression with you guys on camera so you can see, but during the days between, just accumulate resources to better the team, so give me a better chance of actually beating them. So we're going to try for challenge 3 here. 110 is the suggested power. I think all of our team members are higher than that. We're at 120 on both of the Flicks and Grizel, and 130 or higher on the rest. So hopefully we can make some progress here and get one more dungeon we can sweep on challenge 3 to get those extra fragments and resources. So I will press on here and hopefully bring you back in the last room. Alright, so we are on to that 5th and final room. We did have to change our lineup quite a few times to get everybody through each of the previous battles. So we'll see how this goes. We'll hover over that pause button in case we need to reset. We didn't bring a whole lot of abilities right in here, but Tuskrog's starting out with that stun, so that's going to help us out. It looks like everybody is dead. They are all alive, so let's see about doing something different. I'm trying to think here as far as ways of improving this. Grizel is close to dead. We could bring Palmera back up in the front, maybe move Tuskrog over here and switch there and just see how that goes. Again, we'll hover over that pause button. Kind of surprises me we're struggling as much as we are in this space, just because all of our champions are over the recommended power level. We're down to Darizda, and she is not going to get through those 3 people by herself. It's not looking good. I think we'll try one more thing, and it doesn't seem to really even be that close, so I don't know if there's a whole lot for us to do in this space. I think we'll bring Grizel. Actually, let's do it this way. And maybe we'll bring Flicks up here and just see if that helps, because she's got the most health. Maybe that'll do a thing. I don't know. But, yeah, I think we're at a point where the progress in the game is just a little bit limited. If we could get another Palmera special ability, that'd be huge. Assuming she hits anybody, because she's kind of facing the wrong way. And then she got stunned in the middle of her ultimate. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's pretty rough. So not looking good for any gains on the account or any progress in that space. Let's jump out into here, because the other 2 are all recommended the same level. So here we're at 110, and then here we're at 110, and also on Stone Table we're at 110. So if we can't pass that one, I don't think we're passing any of the others. And it doesn't even really look like it's close, which is kind of frustrating, but we'll keep on keeping on. This says 110 also, but these tend to be a little bit easier, although you are rolling through 10 rooms instead of 5, so it can be, or kind of stack up damage a little more, but a lot of times there'll be a healing tree or something along the way to help you out. So we'll get, there's 15 rooms in here. So we'll go ahead and get going on this, and I'll bring you in when we start to struggle. All right, so we're heading into that final battle. We were able to top off on health, or pretty close to it at the healing tree. We are going to get respite for 20%. We got it 2 times. So Grizel will probably get topped off here. And then I think I stacked up an ability or 2 in the last room. So hopefully we can get started on the right foot. And I think we're going to make it through here. We've been fairly smooth sailing. We did lose Grizel and revived her at one of the healing trees. But I think that was kind of a fluke situation. All in all, I think we've got the power to do it. So we are getting it done. So here we found some progress in the game. So that's pretty exciting that we got through that. So that actually finishes up that battle and opens up the next one. So we did finish that quest of Clear Warden's Way. So we'll see what our rewards are for that. We get this chest here as well, and I'm pretty confident we have to get through the next one before we are able to unlock tier 6 gear. So we have finished Warden's Way. Yeah, we got to get through the Cathedral, I believe, is when you unlock tier 6 gear. So we've got a little bit of work ahead of us, but if we go back into here, and we check out the quests, and in adventure mode we get 5 summons. So that might actually give us a nice little send-off here. Oh, that's not where I wanted to be. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull 20 summoning stones and see how we do. Call to Elderum. Let's just make sure we can get all of the guys in here, including our Atticus that we still have not gotten on this account. We could also definitely use another Flix for more enlightenment. So we're looking for a couple characters. I think we still could use a Durizda, and probably a Tuskrog and Palmera, although on all 3 of those we do get fragments of those every day, so we'll get there eventually. There's a Brund. He's new on the account, so that's kind of fun. I think the Icum video I put out not too long ago was definitely an interesting idea. I was thinking about running Icum alongside Tuskrog and doing hey, that is awesome. We got a Grizel. That gives us, I think we need 2,000 soul stones before we can enlighten her again, but then we have another copy of her to enlighten her after that. So that is a great pull. But running a Icum alongside our Tuskrog instead of Palmera could potentially be a really cool combination with a double tank up front. The other thing that I've been kind of hearing buzz about is potentially running both healers, Aquirus and Flix, simultaneously versus one or the other. I'd be a little nervous our damage would be lacking a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure who I would take out in the back row. It'd probably have to be Grizel, which would be unfortunate, but I could also just leave Grizel in and run a single tank with Tuskrog and then do 2 healers that way. So that might be an alternative. So that was a pretty dud pull, but we did get a second Brund, so that's pretty fun. We'll hold on to those 6 until we have a 10 pack. But that was kind of a fun way to set off. But this is day 36 on the free to play. We are on Commander level 64, making some headway across the board, at least made some progress in adventure mode and start getting in the leaderboard again in Endless, which is pretty exciting. So I appreciate you guys spending the time with me today. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It means the world to me. We are creeping up closer and closer to that 500 every single day as far as giving away that NFT character. So I look forward to doing that sooner than later, and I also look forward to seeing you next time.